Mudar Pratap Singh, you're joining us on NewsX. Prime Minister Narendra Modi is expected to file his nomination papers seeking a third term from the Varanasi Lok Sabha seat on the 14th of May. Over the last 15 years, the Prime Minister has made many efforts to ensure steadfast development in Varanasi and across Uttar Pradesh. This, of course, includes game-changing road infrastructure projects, including the Kashi Highway and Haridwar Highway projects. In fact, the world now recognizes the 22nd of January 2024 as the date when Prime Minister Narendra Modi scripted history by performing the Pran Pratishtha at the Ayodhya Ram Mandir. Amongst other significant projects, the Modi government undertook the monumental Kashi Vishwanath Corridor project to facilitate the journey of pilgrims from the Kashi Vishwanath temple to the Varanasi Ghats and a lot more. Well, we'll of course be speaking about Prime Minister's journey of reviving Hinduism via infrastructure and development in Kashi and the overall impact that this has had on livelihood of people as well. Let's in fact quickly listen in to what he said way back in 2014 when he filed his nomination from Varanasi for the very first time.
आज जहां पर भगवान बुद्ध ने संदेश दिया था वो वाराणसी सारनाथ की धरती, यही भोले बाबा की धरती, यही संकट मोचन की सारी शक्तियां जहां अपरंपार है, वो भूमि, उस भूमि की सेवा करने का मुझे सौभाग्य मिला है और मेरा मन कहता है मैं आया नहीं हूं, मुझे भेजा भी नहीं है, मां गंगा ने बुलाया है और गंगा मुझे आशीर्वाद दे.
And let's of course now tell you a bit more about the Prime Minister's of course development works in Varanasi. Well, as you can see, this is what the area looked like where the Kashi Vishwanath corridor has now come up. That was the before. Now look at the after. Look at the transformation that has happened there with this corridor, which of course now is officially open and of course is there for everyone to see and experience themselves. The Kashi Highway now, let's talk about this. This is what it was earlier. This is the before, when the construction of course was on. Let's look at it now. Let's take a look at how the highway of course has now developed. There you have it. A beautiful, fantastic 6-lane highway that now connects Varanasi with other parts of Uttar Pradesh and the country. Look at the Haridwar Highway, another example of transformation. Haridwar, another very pious site for Hindus. You saw what it looked like earlier, and you saw of course the swanky highway that now exists in Haridwar. Again, Ayodhya, we showed you what it looked like before. Look at what it looks like after. The Pran Pratishtha of course now has been done. That grand Ram Mandir of course has been constructed. This was the Pran Pratishtha that the Prime Minister himself of course performed on the 22nd of January this year itself. Ayodhya train station also, because of the rush of tourists, the train station was developed. The airport also was developed and inaugurated. All of this before the Pran Pratishtha of course. The Kashi Vishwanath corridor formally was inaugurated on the 13th of December 2021. The Prime Minister himself of course oversaw how development works were happening, the before and after on the Kashi Highway as well, apart from the corridor. Also Kedarnath, a lot of redevelopment has happened there under the watch of Prime Minister Modi. This redevelopment of course has been seen over the last several years, and not just Kedarnath but the other dhams too. The Char Dham road project is also something that the Prime Minister has been focusing on. The Haridwar Highway is what we showed you earlier as well. It's again a very, very good road and highway. The Kedarnath Badrinath tunnel as well is something again that has been spoken about by the government and done on ground. The Ram circuit of course, something to encourage tourists to visit that circuit. Meanwhile in Mathura as well, many projects were inaugurated by Prime Minister Narendra Modi. Then of course he also went to the UAE to inaugurate the Baps temple there. Underwater darshan at the Dwarka site as well. This of course was again a personal joyous moment for Prime Minister Modi. As you can see there, the smile on his face is very, very evident. We'll of course quickly open this up to our guests as well now. Joining us, G.C. Tripathi, former Vice Chancellor, BHU, is live with us. Utpal Kaul, senior historian, also joins us live. Vedveer Arya, historian, also on the broadcast with us. Let me make a start with you first, G.C. Tripathi. 360-degree transformation of Varanasi has been seen, and through these infrastructure projects, tourism has increased, isn't it, G.C. Tripathi? Also, for devotees, there has been, of course, now a foolproof way of reaching these places of pilgrimage.
Thank you for providing me an opportunity to be with you this evening and share some of my views on this relevant issue. We all know that a man is known on the basis of his performance in respective aspects of life. Our Honorable Prime Minister, Shri Narendra Modi ji, started his career as a full-time worker of RSS. And after quite a long time, he also served the society polity in the capacity of organizing secretary of BJP. Then subsequently, he served as Chief Minister of Gujarat 3 times. Now, he is Prime Minister of India and he selected Varanasi. I have been saying it time and again that Varanasi is a place which is cultural capital of India. And this is cultural capital of India because Varanasi, according to our Shastras and
Okay, I think
social life.
Mr. Tripathi, can you hear me? Please go ahead. We can hear you. Okay, I think we've lost him. Utpal Kaur, let me bring you in here. Utpal Kaur, let me bring you in here on, this massive development that has happened under Prime Minister Narendra Modi's watch. And we're, of course, focusing on Kashi, talking about Varanasi. Kashi Vishwanath corridor is one example. The highway is another example. But it's been seen in other places of pilgrimage as well. The Prime Minister, of course, is the MP for Varanasi. So he takes personal interest in development works there. But that doesn't mean there has been no development in other places. The PM has also emphasized that in places like Ayodhya, Mathura, Kedarnath, to name a few. Utpal Kaur.
Let me recite first one, what the Shastras say. Ayodhya, Mathura, Maya, Kashi, Kanchi, Avantika, Puri, Dwara, Vachi, Chaiva, Satyeta, Mokshadaika. As Mr. J.C. Tripathi said, that it is the cultural capital of India. Kashi is the oldest. Varanasi, Kashi, what we say as Banaras, is the oldest city in the world, not only of India. And Bhagwan Ram's Purvaj, Raja Harishchandra, it was part of their kingdom. So it is pilgrimage place for thousands of years. But let me tell you very freely and frankly that I am going regularly. I have taken world celebrities to Varanasi because Varanasi is a very, very special place. And so I must have gone Varanasi 100 times for last 35 years. And it was a matter of shame because lanes and bylanes from going up to the Ghat, going to the Kashi Vishwanath, all the roads, it was unorganized, it was dirty. And from airport to coming from Varanasi airport to Kashi, it was a hell. It would take 1.5 hours. Now, I talked to my agent who was receiving me at the Varanasi airport. He was so thrilled, Mr. Javed. He told me, don't think Varanasi is safe. Varanasi is totally changed. And so it can take 1 million tourists at one time. And I may add here, it is not the only pilgrimage place for Hindus, but it is the biggest Buddhist pilgrimage place because Ganga is also holy for the Buddhists. And from Varanasi main to Sarnath is only 10 kilometers. So it is a most important pilgrimage center for not only for Indians, not only for Hindus, not only for Buddhists, but people, tourists from nearly 100 countries come to see Varanasi. And infrastructure, now the more hotels, more five-star properties have come, more three-star, four-star hotels have come, guest houses have come, and you must see the from Godalia Chowk, how easy it is to go to the main ghat. You must see the Dashamesh Ghat, and you must see the Assi Ghat, how clean and organized it is. But we need to do more here because it is the most important place. And let me add here that it is not only Narendra Modi has done it for Varanasi, it has done also for different pilgrimage places. And I tell you, this is the biggest tourism. Tourism is one sector where it gives employment to millions of people. And pilgrimage this pilgrimage tourism is the number one in India. And so now we hear Gadkari ji is doing road up to the Amarnath. And can you believe it, how the developments are taking place? And now we have seen the Ram temple, we have seen what is happening in the Mathura, and we have seen Kashi. And so Narendra Modi ji will get blessings from Bhagavan Ram, he will get blessings from Lord Krishna, but the Bholenath and the Kashi Vishwanath will bless him with good health and the third term with 400 plus to be the next PM to take care of Bharata. Thank you.
Absolutely. GC Tripathi, if you're back with us, can you hear me, sir? Okay, I think we've lost him still. Vedveer Arya, let me bring you in here on the broadcast on, just speaking a bit about how all of this also, impacts tourism as well. Infrastructure development, at the end of the day, is the key to increasing tourism and footfalls, isn't it? And that's something we've seen in Varanasi, most particularly, but also in many other Hindu pilgrimage sites over the last few years under the Modi government, isn't it, Vedveer Arya?
Yes, the way last 10 years what we have seen, it is totally unprecedented. First, what we are seeing is actually awakening of a Hindu civilization. Indian civilization, the identity of Indian civilization is actually Hindu civilization. We should not attach Hindu with some religions. No. All born in this country are Hindus by birth. You may have changed last 200 years, 300 years, 400 years before any religion, but it is actually what our Prime Minister is doing. He is rebuilding this civilization. That's why he is choosing our ancient cities like Varanasi, Ayodhya, Haridwar, as well as even many other cases, even Ujjain also going into a lot of infrastructural, almost many places. So this kind of a infrastructure, what you are building is, we are building with the nation identity, as well as you can push all kinds of economic activities also. Because in ancient times, our temples were centers of education, as well as the tourism, business, and all cultural activities. It's not just for only place of a worship. So this is extremely important to rebuild our ancient cities. That leads to an identity, and we can re-establish India as a most ancient civilization in the world. And that actually inspires the youth, because the Indian youth must know what kind of a legacy they have, what is their heritage. This is very important what a government is doing. Till date, only some NGOs or some social organizations used to contribute. Now, government is actually pushing this kind of an identity of India. So it's actually, I think last 10 years, it was a golden era. I think next 5 years will be absolutely, it should be a game changing for the Indian civilization.
Absolutely. Let me, take that across to GC Tripathi as well, if he's back with us now. I think he is. GC Tripathi, please do complete your point, and also, just tell us about how massive the infrastructure push has been, in Varanasi in particular, but also in many other pilgrimage sites as well?
As I already said, Honorable Prime Minister, why selected Kashi? He selected Kashi because he is a missionary. He wanted to carry on his message not only for Varanasi, but also for India in general and also Varanasi in particular. So, in respect of infrastructure, in respect of education, in respect of health, we see tremendous change. Let us take an example of BHU. BHU now has the biggest trauma center of the country and world-class cancer center. Number two, if we go to see the site of airport, we will see tremendous change in respect of air facilities, in respect of railway facility, and also in respect of transport facilities. So, and these things are interconnected. As Kaulji said, Dharma, Arth, Kam, and Moksha. It's a matrix of 4 by 4. Dharma is associated with Arth, Kam, and Moksha. And Kam is also associated with Dharma, Arth, and Moksha. Kam cannot be completed in absence of Dharma, Arth, and Moksha. Moksha is also not in isolation. So it's a matrix of 4 by 4. So Modi ji wanted to give this message that is infrastructure is related with culture. Culture is related with religious places. So he developed Vishwanath temple, the temple of Lord Vishwanath. And he selected religious places to carry on the message of civilization and culture in different parts of the country and also in different parts of the world. We all know that the situation which India and also the universe is going to face is not only a problem of society, polity, or economy. It is a problem related to the philosophy, vision, and approach to life. So, Modi ji wanted to put up the infrastructure, educational facilities, health facilities, everything. And in the root of these facilities is the philosophy. Why education should be there? And what is the objective of health facilities? And what is the basic objective of infrastructural facilities? So these things are interconnected. Therefore, Kashi is going to be a model. And these things have two types of models. One is short-term model and other is long-term model. And in due course of time, he has been given 10 years. And during the 10 years, he demonstrated what he has in his mind. Modi ji approach to life, Modi ji's vision and philosophy, these things are behind his infrastructural model, educational model, health model, and everything which he goes to carry on. Now, Kashi is a model. Now, Ayodhya, you can see. But the basic purpose, basic philosophy, vision, and approach to life is same.
That's an interesting point you made. And we saw that earlier, Utpal Kaul, in Gujarat, where the PM's Gujarat model was talked about, the model of development across the nation. Is this now the Kashi model, that the PM is making an example of that can spread to many other parts of the country, particularly places of pilgrimage?
Uday, I have to add one most important point. Kashi, Vanaras is also famous for silk and brocade. And it is famous all over the world. because we have South Indian silk, Orissa silk, Assam, Kashmir, and Varanasi, Banaras silk. And can you believe Modi ji put 1,000 crore for development and taking care of weavers and traders, and see how this will develop in a most fashionable way, nicely, and it is marketing. So it is on one side where it is totally spiritual, philosophical, as Kashi is the most important pilgrimage place for Hindus and Buddhists, but at the same time where the roads are now world-class roads, as J.C. Tripathi also said, the airport, the railway station, the bus stand, everything is very much organized. And now how he will took care of handicrafts, but most important, the silk of Varanasi. Yes, of course, as the Gujarat model, he was in first term, Modi ji was speaking of the experiments which he did in Gujarat and which were totally successful. And so he was telling other states they can take the model, but at the same time, we can implement those things all over India. And I think most of the things which were applicable to all over India were taken, and so we say it was for development, for right from agriculture to roads to machines to factories. And it was this Gujarat model that big investments came to Gujarat. And so this model was taken for rest of the country. And now it is the Kashi model. I think this model will be taken because we have beautiful and important pilgrimage centers in Tamil Nadu, in Andhra Pradesh, in Kerala, in say all over India, from Assam to Kashmir, from South India to Central India. So we can develop these, and our domestic tourism will rise, and with that we will have thousands and thousands, I can say millions of Buddhists coming from Buddhist countries and from Europe and from America. And we have now that kind of infrastructure. And we have world's only 3 to 4% tourism. If we make it up to 7 to 10%, I think we will solve a lot of problems.
Absolutely. And all of this, of course, leads to economic, upliftment as well, doesn't it, Vedveer Arya? Economic upliftment, as we've seen in Varanasi and slowly are seeing in other parts of the country as well. This has a direct impact on the economy of the region.
Yes, of course. If you see Ayodhya, what happened? Now, every day, lakhs of people are visiting. And the airport, when the government has sanctioned for construction of airport there, people had some kind of a doubt whether that investment is worth of it or not. But when you see this, tomorrow I think Lucknow and Ayodhya will develop as a two big satellite cities. If you have a connectivity between those 100 kilos, you have a rapid some bullet train or even a very high speed trains, then hardly you can reach between Ayodhya to Lucknow maybe within half an hour. So the economic development is very fast. That's why if you see, that is reflected on the per capita income of the India, and the BPL families, that is also coming down. So it is actually an economic development, but what our Prime Minister is doing is attaching with this economic development model with the civilizational model. That matters. Actually, that gives you an emotional touch also, because you can't do an economical development model without having any emotional touch. So that emotional touch is very important, and he is re-establishing very ancient cities as well as our modern economy also. That's why India has reached almost fifth wealthiest nation now, and probably maybe another 2 years it may reach up to the third position. So it's an economic development model what Modi is pushing, so that there is no poverty at all. in India, and we will see after 29 and 2030 India will move towards as a development nation by 2047. Certainly, the Modi ji and his
Yes.
successor will eradicate poverty from India.
My thanks to all of our guests for joining us on this discussion. It's time for a very short break.